Well, it's a beautiful day today, and I thought I'd come down to Treorchy to get some fresh vegetables. Quiet on the pavement, busy on the roads. So I'm going to pop into Green Valley and have a look at what they've got, because I'm thinking about possibly making some cowl tonight. So I'll be after a big thick leek and maybe a few other bits as well. I haven't been to Too Good to Waste for quite a while now, and I'm not looking for anything big, but I thought I'll go and have a look if they've got one of these old-fashioned teaspoons that look a bit like a garden spade. That's very nice, isn't it? Right, just have a little look around anyway. Well, I've come up without buying anything. Those spoons that look like shells, I do remember them, but that's not the spoon I'm trying to find. Something similar, but more of a spade shovel ending to it. Right, I think that's me finished now. Time to go home. I saw the sun and came out in a t-shirt, but it's got quite chilly now, so let's get home and have a cup of tea. There's another shop across there. The Rotary Club of Rhondda. Their community shop is open. So I thought, let's go in and have a look what's in here. An automatic door that doesn't open. Seems to be mostly books and clothes.
I don't know where I got Billy Elliot from. Oh, wow. Open the door, CDs and DVDs. So I'm sure it's actually not enough.
Look at this attractive shop front here. They've got a autumnal flavour to it, but it's a painting, I think. Fantastic. Right, it's quite cold, so I'm going home for a cup of tea now. I'm going to catch this bus. Show a leg. Well, what a palaver to the start of the day. I was coming down the street with my wheelbarrow full of compost and my nuts were loose and I didn't realise. And the next day my wheel fell off and I was sat there going, I've lost my nut. How am I going to proceed to enjoy this beautiful day? And then a neighbour passed, but I think I'll say it in the dialect of the valleys. A neighbour passed, English fella, but tidy with it. And he said, I've got a van, let me get the van. So he got the van, we just thrown everything into the van, turned up at the homestead. And this wheelbarrow that I've bought, even though I think it would be very good for light work around the homestead, for carrying heavy stuff, because the handles are added on, that nothing is a full piece. It was a bit on the wobbly side. So now I need to get all this stuff into the shed. You can't beat a good cup of tea in the shed. Well, I've had a bit of a sleep since I saw you last. I've done a bit of weeding. I've planted some Brussels sprouts. And I've come in here and had a little bit of a sleep. So I'm going to enjoy my cup of tea now and see if there's anything else that needs doing. I was thinking to myself, I feel a bit hungry. What shall I have for dinner? And then I remembered last night I made some cawl, and it's quite good to think that by the time I get home there's a meal there waiting for me. It makes it much easier on the homestead to push through, and that reminded me I need to dig out my slow cooker because that season is upon us. As you can tell, I've got the jumper on, I've got my woolly hat here as well, because there is certainly a bit of a nip in the air. But I won't rush back to it too quickly. Just take it easy. There's a lot more clouds going over now than there has been. Right. I'm not sure what these plants are, but they don't half make a mess when the seeds start flying. They're fairly easy to pull out. Just throw it over there for the time being. Try and get the seeds away. Nice bed of nettles here, I must say. When was the last time you saw a butterfly? Apparently they're in decline, so I hear, according to the radio. This ground is so soft that I'm sinking. Oops. What I'm thinking is, if I can mark out where this cold frame is, then I can concentrate over the next few weeks in just doing this section. And then I can do, that's 12 foot. So I would imagine that is 6. So if I concentrate on a 12 by 6 little spot every few weeks, then I will soon make light work of it. I have 6 months until the spring. It sounds like a lot of time, but it isn't. If you take out the days of rain and everything like that, bullseye. But it's nice soil. Look at that, you can do that. The majority of it will fall off. Must get better at that. So that's my little task. And I think I'll give myself a target of a week. Because I like to film everything I do, but I think now it's got to the point where I might have to come down in the wind and rain and just give you an update. Because obviously I can't put the camera in the rain. Although saying that, I bought a camera the other day, and it's going to take a while for me to get my head around it. But it's an outdoor security camera. And if I can set the thing up, I want to put the camera somewhere in the middle of the plot and just put it on 24/7, and you can just dip in and out, see if I'm here, or just watch the wildlife, watch the plants grow. And I'm hoping to get that set up at some point over the next few weeks. So there'll be a live feed from the homestead. And I think that might spur me on to do a bit more. But like I've always said, slow and steady wins the race. And it's quite nice to sit here, clean my tools, and listen to the river. Although I do find when I'm in the shed there, listening to the river, it's very easy to doze off. It was a week ago today that I went to that flower show just outside Gatwick. So I'm still taking it easy, still taking it steady. But it's a lovely day. I've just realised I don't have to stay here all day until a task is finished. I'm feeling a bit tired, so I can go home, have a bit of food, and if I want to come back down later, I can. So all these years of being on allotments that are so far away from your home, I forget that I have the luxury of just coming to do an hour, going home, and coming back down later. So that's where I'm off to. I'm going to have a bowl of broth. I'm just going to take the milk home with me, just in case I don't come back. Right. Well, I've been home. I've had a nice warm bowl of cawl, which is a bit like lamb stew. I'll put a link to the last time I filmed myself making it. I'll put it in the description below. Now, as you know, I've been ill the last few days with this chronic fatigue syndrome. And what usually happens is, you then get a day, like today, where you feel full of beans. But the trick is not to push yourself too hard. But I fancied coming out and having a little walk. So I'm just going to do a small circle up to the river and back down. Nothing too exciting, because this is what usually happens. You have your first day back and you're full of beans, and then you push yourself too hard, and then you're back in bed for the next few days. But it is certainly a cold evening. It was quite warm this morning, and then 3 o'clock the temperature dropped. You can certainly see the colours of autumn arriving. Look at that. There's a cute horse in the field, just walking down to see me. But I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go up here and to the right, because as you can already see, the light is fading. So it'll be a very quick walk around. Let's cross this little stream here, but the river sounds quite fierce up this side of town. Be nice to come up here in the winter when all this bracken has fallen back. And hold on, let me keep my bearings. Yes, once the bracken turns brown, it then starts to die back. Ah, here we are at the magical tree. Maybe one day I'll try and sit in the branch there. It was quite nice being down on the homestead today, just having a potter. And now I've given myself that challenge of doing that 12 foot by 6 foot bed by, let's say, the end of the week, if weather plays ball. Obviously you can't do it if there's a storm going on, but the light rain, I might be able to get away with it. And I was thinking I could always put you in the shed, so you can watch from the shed. I should really bring a secateurs up, so when I find little bits like this growing across the path, because this is what my cousin and I used to do back in the 80s and the 90s. But I can tell nobody's been doing it in the last decade, because this path is quite overgrown. It's been a busy day in the valleys today. I've looked up to Pen Pych a few times and seen at least 2 groups of about 50 people. Now, not today because we're coming to sunset, but I will take you for a walk up there. And if we go beyond these trees and a bit off the path, there is an Acer palmatum grandiflora that was planted by a family in the 90s. And the last time I saw it, it was huge. What I could do is, rather than going through all this brush and then realising it's not there, I could fly the drone up first and just check that it's still there. But May is the best time to go and look at it. But yes, all this here, I remember this being clear. There wasn't any of this bracken here. And this is what happens when they take the sheep off the land. It all starts to change. Right, let's cross the river. I would love to bring my friend down here, John Rogers. He would love exploring the rivers, and if you've never seen his channel, I'll put the link below. But he likes to explore the lost rivers of London and even beyond. And there's a river here called the Celsig River, and the English translation means sausage. And I have an ambition to try and find the source of the Celsig, the source of the sausage. Now, the last time we came on the mountain, it was at this point I walked up there, which is known locally as the incline, because this is where they used to have the coal drams that would come down from the top, bringing the coal. And that takes us to the fairy pools and the fairy falls. But I'm not going that way today. So if you want to see that, again, I'll put the link to that in the description below. But today is just a short walk, just to get out, be a bit active. Not ready to go to bed just yet. But the plan is to get an early night tonight. And by early night, I'm thinking be in bed by 10:30 at the latest. That's the plan. Whether it'll happen, I do not know. Now, usually I would take the path to the left, but I think I'll venture down to the right. Because if my memory serves me right, we will end up on the designated path, which is close to the bridge. Do you remember the bridge that was closed the last time because of the new housing estate? I wonder how many they've sold. Rumours in the village is that they haven't sold any. Ah, the mountain ash, I think this tree is. Full of berries. The birds will certainly enjoy that. But yes, 6 months to spring now. But I love winter. As I've said before, autumn, winter, spring are my best months. Summer is the month I'm not really bothered about. Winter for me is not all about hibernating inside your little cottage. It's about getting out and experiencing the cold and the frost. And my idea of a perfect day is a blue sky day, but with a bit of frost, or even better, a bit of snow on the ground. Right, let me watch where I'm going, otherwise I'll be on the ground. Oh, I'm feeling quite warm now, especially with my bobble on. Oh, right. We're coming down by the river now. This is what is so glorious about living here. It's very nice to come and visit these places, but when you're on the doorstep and you feel the urge, you can go with it. And you're on the mountain within 5 minutes rather than having to travel somewhere. They still haven't opened this bridge. Hopefully when they do open it, they'll put a new bridge there as well, as a way of thanking the residents for putting up with all the hassle. Here we are. This is what I call the designated path. I remember this being built. I was just starting to pick up a bit of speed going down the path then. I thought, no, stop. Let's just stand for a while and observe, because it's too easy to walk past the bits that you don't see. Nice to see this. This is what we used to do as children, was to dam the river, put a few little stones across and make an area to come and do a bit of dipping. See, just put your feet in there on a hot day, or allow the dog to go in and have a little swim. Beautiful. I think one of the reasons why I wanted to come out was to stay awake. So I didn't fall asleep on the sofa. Right, here we are. We're heading back down to the village now. Oh, get inside now, put the heating on, and have a nice, good cup of tea. A perfect end to a perfect slow day. Right, catch up with you in a few days. So from me till then, bye for now.